I love featuring affordable watches here on my channel, and I've actually featured a watch from this brand in the past. It was a dive watch, which was very impressive. However, they have taken a stab at a field watch, and this is very affordable. Starting at around $259, you are getting a Lume monster that is really also a spec monster. I have one hands-on. I'm very excited to show you guys. So let's flip the camera and take a look at the latest release from UBIC, their field watch. So like I mentioned in the intro, there are a few different variants of this watch that they are currently offering on their website. There is a Mecha Quartz version, and then there is an automatic version. There's a number of different dials, and there is also a bracelet option. This is the automatic version with the bracelet. However, the Mecha Quartz version looks almost exactly the same as this watch, and it is priced incredibly. So we'll talk about price in just a few minutes. Let's talk about the specs in general. So there is two different movements. This is the Miyota 9039, a dateless version of the Miyota 9000 series. So you do not have a date on this watch. The other movement that they're using is the VH31 Mecha Quartz movement by Seiko. So you do get a sweep seconds. It's not as smooth as the Miyota 9039. With that being said, you do get a sweep seconds, and it almost looks like an automatic watch without it being an automatic watch. This is in titanium with an extra hard coating. So the case and the bracelet get an extra hard coating. If you get it on a strap, it is cheaper. The bracelet is an upcharge of around $109. It does have on-the-fly micro adjust, solid links. It's made out of titanium, and it gets that extra hard coating. So I think that's actually a pretty good price if you want to upgrade and get a bracelet as well. This gets a lot of lume. This version is a fully lumed dial. So it's a little bit more expensive than the others, but only just a little bit. And you also get solid blocks of lume on the dial as well. So everything that you see is essentially lume. The hands are also lumed. You have one hand that is black, one hand that is silver, and those are filled with lume. And then you have a pip in the seconds hand that is also filled with lume. So lots of lume going into this dial, and then you have dots of lume that are again solid blocks of lume for all the non-primary indices. I think the only thing that isn't lumed on this dial is the minute track, and that is also a 24-hour track. So that's the only thing that isn't lumed, and when you turn off the lights, you're not going to miss it because there is so much lume on this dial. I love lume. I talk about it all the time on this channel, so watches like these I find attractive because they are so bright. It comes in at around 38 millimeters, so I measured just over 38 millimeters, like 38.1 millimeters according to my calipers, 11 millimeters thick. That is including the slightly raised sapphire crystal that gets AR coating. 11 millimeters thick is excellent because you have a screwed-in case back, screwed-in crown, and 100 meters of water resistance. So this is a really great everyday field watch, and that's kind of what they were going for here. Lug to lug is around 44 millimeters, just a hair under 44 millimeters. You do get drilled lugs, solid end links, solid links, quick release on here, and the quick release is actually a pretty nice quick release for the price, and again, that's only an upgrade of $109 currently on their website. On wrist today, I have another titanium watch. This is a grade 5 titanium watch that is made in Germany. It is a crazy watch from Kaiser Design, and I am going to be releasing a video about this watch pretty soon. It's just a really weird design, and it's all 3D printed, and they do a bunch of different things in Germany. So this is basically all made in Germany. It's a very exciting watch, and I think a really interesting design. And there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. Again, this is the automatic version, so it is 11 millimeters thick. I think it's around the same thickness for the Mecha Quartz version. And like I said, it won't look much different. So you can even get the bracelet. Everything will look exactly the same as you see it here. There are a few different dial colors. If you don't get the fully lumed dial version, it's $259 with that Seiko VH31. And then I think it goes up to like $389 for the automatic version, and then add on $109 if you want the bracelet. This specific version with the fully Lume dial is $289 with that Mecha Quartz movement, and then it goes up to around $419. That's with the automatic movement inside. Add again $109 to either of those prices if you want the bracelet. Again, I have a 7.5 inch wrist. This is an 11 millimeter thick watch, 38 millimeters with a 44 millimeter lug to lug. And the bracelet looks great on here. It is signed with their logo, and you have a double push button. And like I said, right under here, you have on the fly micro adjust with a nice button here. It works really well, and you could adjust it on wrist if you want to. Nice satisfying click when you close it. It's a multi-link bracelet. It is all matte finished, and the case has some polishing on here, just a little bit, but this is a tool watch. It is a field watch. They just put a line of polish around that bezel. It's on the side of the bezel. Everything else is either media blasted or brushed. Well, the lume on here is ridiculous. This could be one of the brightest watches that I have videoed in a while. It is very bright. And I actually had to wait a few seconds because it was just too bright. And I couldn't even really see the dial. It's pretty insane. So everything that's yellow is lumed. All of the indices are lumed. All the hands are lumed. Everything is liberally applied with lume. Those solid blocks of lume, obviously very bright because they are solid blocks of lume. You cannot go wrong with Lumicast is basically what it's called. It looks awesome. And the price on this is very good. Starting at $259, you're getting everything that you see here except for that fully lume dial. If you want the fully lume dial, it's $289. You get that on a strap without the bracelet. If you want the bracelet, add $109. That's it. If you want the automatic movement, obviously that is a step up. So you're going to be in that $500, $500 and something range for this exact watch as you see it. But I think that's pretty good for a full titanium watch with an extra hard coating, automatic movement, and tons of lume. And I believe it also will come with a strap if you get the bracelet, because you're adding on the bracelet to that order. So you get the strap that it comes on, and then of course you get the bracelet as well. So that's how it works. Really, really good value in this watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. I will add a link to this watch down in the description. Definitely check it out if you are interested. That's really it, guys. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. That's really it. I will catch you guys in the next video.